So far, we have used it primarily as a kind of a search engine on steroids almost. Um, our firm in particular is extremely risk averse, and so our adoption really of a full-fledged AI platform is going to be slow. And I think, there's a lot of our business that is still relationship oriented, and so AI isn't going to solve that piece of it for us necessarily. But I do think it will help us gain some efficiencies in some of the more routine tasks that we have to perform on a daily basis. And just the accounting industry in general has been a little understaffed the past half dozen years or so. And so if we can get to a point where we're comfortable with AI doing some of the more routine kind of entry-level tasks that have to happen, I think we'll be in a better spot. People use it for all kinds of things. I was at a coffee with a client the other day, and he asked ChatGPT to write a Christmas jingle with Plant Moran as the subject line, and it came back instantly, verse, chorus, the whole thing. So that was just for fun, obviously. But yeah, I think people are just getting used to the concept in general has been my experience.
Yeah. AI has been a very fascinating thing, as you mentioned. It's new for the last couple of years, and it's growing, and the changes in the growth on it are just, every day it seems like there's something new happening. We're using we're using AI in a couple different ways. There's great efficiencies to be used with AI. It's so much easier now to go do research and ask questions and prompt a decisioning engine that say, how can I and what can I do? It also really helps with efficiencies and effectiveness. How can I make what I do more efficient and easier to do? And so we're early on in that adoption. So we're just early on in the adoption of it, and we're still in the research and the learning phase. One thing that we have focused on here at Elevations is ensuring we have a really good governance model about AI and how and where it's used. One of the things that AI engines do is once information is put into an AI engine, such as ChatGPT or those other ones, it is out in the public now. And so companies need to be very, very thoughtful about what information they let employees put into these kind of engines. And so we've created a good governance model that really ensures that we have safety and soundness. The financial services industry, our information, our members' information is very sacred to us, and so we need to make sure we protect it. And so I do know that we have done really good jobs in making sure, from a governance standpoint, that we have very good practices around it. And then we're in the process of learning how we can do things. Yeah, we have to remind our people, because of AI can be used for fraud, as you said, so much. And we have to remind folks of good governance of your own personal information, dual security of information, password usage, how you use it, protecting information, because it is so important. We focus a lot on educating people, especially our membership, on the various forms of fraudulent AI usage that's out there. We mentioned one of them, which is phone calls that could sound like somebody you know, that come from a number that says it's somebody you know. Doesn't mean it's them anymore. We've even seen some of our members fall for video AI, where literally there is a video of somebody they know speaking in a voice they know, and it's not them. And so people calling, getting information, getting you to do things, getting access to information is very, very risky. And so it's an evolving, just like the good side of AI is evolving, the bad guys are using AI too, and we're continually have to stay on top of that and in front of that and educating people and be careful of what you do.
So AI is significantly impacting not only our law firm, but the legal profession. Our clients are demanding and requiring almost that we have access to AI, and that we're exploring it, and that we're on the cutting edge of it, and that we're actually implementing it and using it. I mean, they're coming to us and telling us we need you to implement this technology. So we've always grown at Berg Hill based on our client needs. And that's how we've been so successful. We've grown with our clients. And so when our clients are asking us to consider a certain type of technology, especially, we do it. And we evaluate it, and so we've done that here. We've implemented AI technology, but with that comes a lot of evaluation of how do you control the risk associated with AI, especially in the legal profession, confidentiality issues, making sure that it's integrated with your document management system, that from our perspective that we're keeping it internal, that we're not accessing technology that's outside of what we have here internally. And and then developing internal procedures, policies, processes to make sure that we're using it correctly. So we've done that at Berg Hill. We feel like we're on the cutting edge of that. We've implemented a program an AI technology that works with Westlaw, which is our legal research system, and we've been very happy with it. Our clients, though, are using it much more broadly. They're using it for customer service, for generating their invoicing, their billing systems, and so they have different concerns and risks that they need to address, and then we help them navigate that they still need to develop internal policies and procedures. Yes. I mean, we've addressed that here internally. We've advised our clients on that who have been fortunate and already are aware of these issues as risks. I mean, you still have to have that person-to-person contact often, and it can sound like a person initially, sometimes when the calls come in, but then you have to stop, slow down, and then do a subsequent call to whoever is on the other side of that to confirm wherever you're sending the invoicing and the payments. So it's really training and developing strong policies and procedures, and then also analyzing what insurance you have that can protect you.
In the banking sector, we're probably not going to be leading the way in adopting AI for our tools, but we're starting to see some of that now. And I liken it to when ATMs were going to replace the tellers. That obviously didn't happen. But what we are seeing is that with these tools, our employees can be more productive in getting more analytical work done, more organizational pieces outsourced to AI that really do allow them to step up in the value chain of what they're able to offer our customers. Just like our tellers today are not the tellers that we had in the 80s or 90s when ATMs were supposed to take over the world, but they're doing more high value work now, which is great for our customers and for our employees as well. I think every business is looking for a competitive advantage, but I don't know if AI is going to be that competitive advantage because it's going to become a ubiquitous tool. When we move from stone tablets to Excel spreadsheets, that's great for the finance professionals. It's a lot easier to work with, but the leveling of the playing field, steps up as the technology continues to step up. So we'll have to see how those tools get implemented. Some will be more adept at using them than others, and of course there'll be creative ways that people do that. It'll be interesting to see how those tools really do move the needle in things like productivity.
I think in many ways, I think AI is going to be really, I know we talk about that later, but I think AI and just technology in general is going to continue to impact companies. How quickly do they adapt? Are they on the bleeding edge of things, and so forth?
Well, let's talk about AI. We've asked that question in our survey all throughout the year, and it's been pretty remarkable that so many, a very high percentage of our respondents have either adopted AI or they're exploring how to integrate AI into their business. Maybe let's talk first about the accounting sector, your sector, and how are you implementing it, but also how are you seeing your clients test the waters or fully embrace AI?
Yeah, as I see AI unfolding in our industry, but also in other industries across the board, I'm just reminded, I'm old enough to remember like when the computer and the laptop started to come on, and in accounting, in my industry specifically, the talk was they're going to do away with all the accountants. All these people the computer's going to take that. And the arguments are kind of similar in today's world where they're saying AI is just going to take everybody's jobs away. And I look at it and say, I don't believe that's the case. I think there's a pendulum that swings, and yep, there's going to be some things that go away, but there's also going to be some things that become a little bit more effective. And I know in our industry what we're trying to do is we're trying to come up with tools that make us more effective. For instance, we have a tool that we can put a digital piece of paper or an agreement, a bank agreement into this. Her name's Kira, and she'll read it and spit out all the information we need to know. I mean, it saves us having to read 100-page documents and get tired and fall asleep. I think there's other applications in other industries where they're trying to use that more as a tool. And I think that's where we'll settle on. And I think we're kind of in the early stages of it. So we'll probably have some overreaches. There'll probably be some things that companies think, oh, I can substitute this. with this and it doesn't go as well. And so I don't know. But to me, I look at it as a tool, not as something that's going to wipe everything out. And I also am reminded that when the computer came on, there were people that used it for good things and there were people that used it for bad things. And I think AI is going to be the same way. There's going to be people that use AI for bad things and people that use it the good way. And so it's just another tool that we have to work with. Yeah, I mean, how our clients are kind of managing that pace of change is varied. And it's varied just like it is across the country and with different companies. I mean, I think there's some CEOs that are embracing that and are trying to figure out how it could help them. There might be other, and I don't necessarily think across our clientele, we work with larger companies, but there could be some even smaller companies. I mean, I to use the old analogy, if I'm a buggy whip manufacturer right now and the cars coming online and everything else, I'm probably a little scared. If my business, I was at a seminar the other day and the person said, if you sit in front of a computer and you put information into the computer, your job might be at risk. At the same time, once AI gets adopted, there's going to be all these other jobs that get created that we don't even know about. So I'm not as concerned from that perspective, but I think across the board, when you're in an industry that maybe it has a bigger impact and you're the CEO of that industry, you're probably thinking about it differently than you are a CEO that thinks about it as a positive. I mean, if you look at the entertainment world, I was at a concert last night and it was the John Denver tribute concert. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, when are we going to see a concert where John Denver's doing it through AI? And that would probably scare all the entertainment people dramatically. So I think it's one of those things where across our clientele, for the most part, we have clients that are trying to embrace it and figure out how they can use it as a tool to help leverage their operations. But I know globally, there are sectors of industries and businesses that are really scrambling and scared.